friend, welcome back. So Friday's episode was all about knowing whether you're ready to monetize your show. So today is what to actually do with that answer. And so I want to be upfront about something before we get into all of the methods. Now, I've watched hundreds of podcasters try out every single one of these methods over the last 20-something years. I've watched some of them work beautifully. I've watched some of them absolutely wreck people. And I've watched a lot of people try the wrong method at the wrong season and then wondered why it didn't work. So today, I'm giving you what I've actually seen. Not what just sounds good, but what I've actually watched happen in real time. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Now, not every method is right for every season. The right first move in year one looks completely different from the right move in year 3. So let's keep that in mind as we're going through the various methods. Okay, method number 1, digital products. Now, digital products are where I tell most people to start. And the reason is pretty simple. It's really the only method on the list where you control everything. There's no third-party approval. There's no brand review. There's no minimum audience floor. There's no waiting for someone else to decide when you're ready. So you heard me talk about the $37 workbook story on Friday's episode. If you haven't listened to Friday's episode 150, I highly recommend that you go back and listen to it. Okay, so about that story. That is the model here. Something specific, one problem, one solution, priced right. Usually between $27 and $97 for a first product. And here's a pattern that I've watched work very consistently over the years. The podcaster who's been giving away her best frameworks in her episodes for over a year packages it into something her listeners can actually hold on to, can actually use. Same audience, same trust, and one way to finally say yes. Now, the mistake that I see people do is they try to build something too fast, a comprehensive course as their first product. It takes 4 months to build it. Only 4 people buy it. And unfortunately, I've watched this happen more times than I can count. So start specific, one problem, one solution. You can always go bigger later, but for your first product, it just needs to work. Method number 2 is coaching and consulting. And this is a method I've watched create some real meaningful revenue for clients who have the genuine expertise to deliver it. Now, the difference between this and the digital product is the trust bar. So she's not buying information. She's buying you, your expertise, which means she needs to already believe, based on your content, that you can specifically help her. Price range is wide. A single strategy might be $97 to $300. A group program over 8 weeks could be anywhere from $500 to $2,000. One-on-one sessions over a 3-month period can be anywhere from $3,000 or more. What I've watched work best for podcasters entering this model is start with a small group, 4 to 10 people, defined outcome, fixed timeline, and you're leveraging your time instead of trading hours for dollars, one client at a time. And the community that forms in that group with that cohort, it deepens the trust in ways that sometimes solo work just doesn't do. Now, there are only so many hours in a given week. So I want you to build your small group program, if that's what you choose to do, with that ceiling in mind. I've watched so many people hit that wall at the worst possible moment because they didn't plan for it, and I don't want that to be you. Okay, so let's talk about method number 3, membership and Patreon. And I want to be really direct about this one because I've watched it go wrong more than almost anything else on this list. True. The concept is genuinely appealing. Patreon and Patreon-like memberships have been around for several years now. They provide recurring revenue, predictable income, which is great, right? 100 members at $10 a month, that's $1,000 that you can count on. And Patreon specifically has a real culture of supporting creators. Your listener doesn't have to be sold on the idea of it. Here is where it tends to fall apart. Almost every membership burnout I've watched comes down to the same thing. The internal systems for additional content creation were not built before the membership launched. This is not something to build after the fact. You need to have it ready to go before you even launch your membership. So usually what happens is this. She launches the membership, she fills it with excited members, and then realizes, oh, I've got to produce all this extra exclusive content on top of the regular podcast, her work, her personal life, all the things. And it absolutely breaks her. She burns out. And I've watched really good podcasters quietly close memberships that they were really proud of because the pace was unsustainable. Now, the question before you build a membership is not, what would my audience pay for this? The question is, do I have the systems in place to sustain what I am promising them? If your answer is yes, great. Congratulations. Go create that membership. If the answer is, oh, I'll figure it out, I want you to wait. Build those systems first and then launch your membership. Let the demand of your audience pull you in when you're actually ready for what the demand requires. Okay, method number 4. Now, I teased this one on Friday's episode. This is the monetization method that most podcasters are sitting on and completely ignoring. And it's your back catalog, all your older episodes. Every episode that you publish is still out there. It's still findable by someone who types the right thing into Apple Podcasts or Spotify, even if it's at 11 o'clock on a random Tuesday night. New listeners almost never start from your most recent episode. They search a topic. They find something you made maybe 14 months ago. They listen to it. They love it. They subscribe to it. That episode is doing acquisition work you're not even thinking about. And in most cases, the new listener finishes the episode and then goes to the show notes looking for a next step. And generally, there's nothing there. There's no offer. There's no link. There's no way to go deeper. She arrived. She listened. And then she left. Now that is a fixable problem. And fixing it costs nothing except maybe a few hours of work on an afternoon. So here's what I tell my clients when we start talking about using their back catalog. First, you want to pull your top 20 most listened to episodes from the last 2 years. Now, if you've been doing it for less than 2 years, you can still do this, whatever time frame that is for you. Those are your most high-performing assets. They're getting found right now. Look to see, are there current offers attached to them? So if not, every listener that episode acquires is leaving without a next step. Secondly, you're going to want to go ahead and update your show notes on the top 10 episodes this week. Add your current offer, add a strategy call link. An episode from 2 years ago with updated show notes pointing to your current offer is a sales page that you didn't have to write. Third, go ahead and promote your best older episodes again, those most listened to episodes. The algorithm does not know when it was made, and your listener doesn't care when it was made if it's useful right now for them. So next, I want you to link episodes to others in your show notes. New listeners like to go deep instead of drifting away after one episode. It's the depth that turns a one-time listener into a loyal one. The thing here is your back catalog is not a graveyard. It's an asset. So start treating it like one. Okay, so let's talk about affiliate income for a moment, because I know I get a lot of questions about this. And I want to keep this short because it really comes down to two things. The first thing is you always recommend a product or service you already use. When your listener buys through your link, you earn a commission. It's not a lot. It's usually a small amount, but it adds up over time. It's a secondary stream. It will never be your primary revenue stream. It does add up quickly and quietly when you're consistent with it, but it's not going to replace a free offer. It's just not. It's not meant to be that. And so the second rule that I have is make sure that it is a good fit for your audience. The moment you recommend something because of the commission, as opposed to the value of it for your listener will feel that. It won't make sense to them. Why are you recommending this product over here when the focus of this show and who you're talking to is for a completely different audience? And like I said, your listener will feel it. They won't be able to tell exactly what it is, but it'll feel off to them. And the erosion of that trust will cost you more than any commission ever paid. The best way to get started with affiliate income is to make a list of 5 tools or products that you already recommend to people. Most of them will have some sort of affiliate program. So go ahead and sign up, mention the products on your show, make sure that you put those links in the show notes. And that's pretty much it. Now let's talk about sponsorships. And yes, I left this one for last on purpose. But I want to be clear. I am not anti-sponsorship. I am all for it. And I've watched sponsorships work really well for clients. The ones that worked had 2 things in common. First, the brand was a genuine fit. Not a fit because the check was good. Not a fit because they got all this free stuff, but because the product actually served the listener. When the alignment is real and true, the ad read sounds like a recommendation, not an interruption. And your listener can hear that difference every single time. Second, and this is the one most people skip, again, the internal systems were in place. A sponsorship is a contract. A brand is counting on you to deliver on schedule with the agreed language for the agreed number of episodes. Now, the podcasters I've watched struggle with sponsorships are always struggling because the brand was wrong. They were struggling because they said yes to a delivery schedule they couldn't keep. I get it that when you get your first, we would like to sponsor your show email opportunity, we get very excited and it gives us some validation that the work that we're doing is there. But just because somebody makes an offer doesn't mean it's the right offer for you. So before you pursue a sponsorship, I want you to go in knowing exactly what you want in a brand partner and make sure that your production process, whether you're doing it solo or whether you hire an agency to do it or an editor to do it, that it's consistent enough to honor that contract. The fit matters. The system matters. Both of them before you sign anything. And if you are going to pursue sponsorships, I want you to go direct. Identify 2 or 3 brands that genuinely serve your listener. Reach out with your audience data and a clear pitch. That relationship will always outperform anything else. Okay, method 7. Let's talk about live events and retreats. This method is starting to be utilized more, but it is also the highest upside, and most places, it can go wrong. So here's what I've seen from the production side of things. The podcaster who had a transformative live event experiences one thing they did right before anything else. They knew their audience was actually ready for it. The ones who struggled with it almost always made the same mistake. They weren't ready for a live event yet. The idea was exciting and they were jazzed about it, but they tried to do something too big too fast. Big venue, big capacity, bigger budget. And when the registrations didn't match the vision, the whole thing became a logistical and financial nightmare instead of the community moment that it was supposed to be. Now, the fix here is really simple. Start smaller than you think you need to. 12 people in a room done well is worth more than a 100-person event done poorly. I have been to and have watched retreats with only 10 people be completely life-changing. I've seen them completely reactivate a podcaster's relationship with her audience and her calling. The intimacy is the thing. You cannot manufacture intimacy at scale. So the signal that you're ready for this is your listeners are asking for if you'll ever do something in person, if you'll ever have a live event. When that starts showing up, whether it's in emails that your listeners send you, comments, DMs, I want you to listen to that. So here's what I want you to take away from today's bonus episode. Pick one method to start with. One and only one. And that one is what fits your season right now. It's not the most impressive one. It's not the one your favorite podcaster is doing. It's the one that your audience is actually ready for. And your systems, your workflows can actually support it. Remember, one method done really well will always beat 7 methods done okay. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 17 through 18. Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. Generous, willing to share. The motivation behind the method matters as much as the method itself. How do I steward this platform in a way that genuinely serves the people who trusted me with their attention? That question, asked honestly, will tell you which method is the right one. And it will keep you from the version of monetization that makes your audience feel like a means to an end instead of the whole point. You've built something worth monetizing. Now go monetize it in a way that's worth building. Thank you so much for joining me on this very special bonus episode of Christian Podcasting Secrets. If you love this episode, please go ahead and share it with a podcaster that you know who is trying to figure out where to start. And if you're not already, please follow and subscribe this podcast. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, you can love Jesus and analytics. And life is way too short for boring podcasts. I'll talk with you next time. Bye, y'all.